All right, friends, welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about living toxin-free, something that I started doing a long time ago when I was recovering from an illness. And then I started doing all this research on health things, and woe and behold, I was poisoning myself every day with toothpaste. That was my light bulb moment. I read the toothpaste. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I'm giving it to my children and they're putting it in their mouth twice a day, sometimes three if I was lucky. So I really got on the bandwagon to start really researching and sorting through what that looked like to get rid of those things that were harming us or could potentially harm us. Because one of the things that even back then I didn't understand was something that we know today is bioaccumulation. And as we talk tonight, just keep that in mind, that it's not what we did yesterday, and it's not necessarily what we do today, right? It's what we do day after day after day, month after month after month, year after year after year, because toxins, chemicals, they accumulate in our body. You know, it would be wonderful if anything that wasn't good for us just flushed out, you know, in some form or fashion. But unfortunately, our bodies are not made that way, and that is not what happens. So bioaccumulation is real. And that's where, when I had learned that, the light bulb really came on. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I don't know this, I bet a lot of other people don't know it. So I've been talking about it ever since. So let's just start with thinking about, do we know what's in the products that we use every day? And most of us are probably the ones that are the gatekeepers, so to speak. We're the ones that probably do the shopping and we bring things into the home. So we get to choose what products we do bring. Why do we want to do, you know, chemical free? Well, we've already mentioned that, and I already mentioned that a little bit, you know, with the toothpaste, and how every day we were putting something in our mouth that had several ingredients that were very unhealthy. So we're not thinking about that, but it's really about everything we rub on our skin, right? Everything that we're smelling, all of that, you know, all the cleaners that we use that touch our hands, and we just don't think about it, do we? I don't know. You know, I think about all of the Pine Sol and the bleach and the Comet and things like that I used growing up. That's what we used in our home. And how many times I touched that. We didn't put on gloves to clean the bathtub. You know, you just put the Comet in, or whatever you were going to use, a Pine Sol, whatever it was, and you just scrubbed, never thinking about, you know, absorbing that. So I just think that the more we're aware of this, the better choices that we can make and the more cautious we can be. So how many of these products have you used today? So we're going to run through this list really quick. Toothpaste, mouthwash. So just kind of take account, you know, of how many things you've used. Shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, body wash, lotion, mineral oil, makeup. Maybe you had a bubble bath. Maybe you were in the sun, put on sunscreen, hand sanitizer, antibacterial soaps, household cleaner. Anybody do any cleaning today? How about laundry? Anybody do any laundry? Any kind of baby, you know, use any kind of baby products, moisturizers, perfume, cologne. The truth of the matter is, probably all of us used several of these things today, and probably most of us use several of these things every single day. So if we're not cautious about what's in those, we could be poisoning ourselves day after day after day, right? And not even, you'd be like me with the toothpaste and not have any idea. So just thinking about, like, how did we get to this point, right? Like, how did this happen so that we're using all these products that have all this stuff in them? Well, in 1938, Congress passed the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. And this act gave authority to the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration is the FDA, to oversee the safety of food, drugs, and cosmetics. So they handed that over, and these types of things get classified in this group with cosmetics, and no one was thinking that there was a problem, right? Nobody thought about that. Now, just a little quick side note here. And I think most of the people viewing this right now are women. The average woman applies some 300 different chemicals to her body every day, every single day. And 80 of them we do before breakfast. So remember the list we just had? Now, this act was suitable for ingredient levels for chemicals in personal care products, but there was very little research at that time regarding the long-term exposure or potential toxic accumulation. We talked about bioaccumulation in the body. Nobody was thinking about that. Nobody was talking about that. Do you know what the number one most dangerous chemical on the EPA list is? Air fresheners, plug-ins, and candles. And we're breathing that in. So number one, and all kinds of things can happen from using those. And we'll talk about that just a little bit later. We'll dig into that. Now, the approved ingredients back in 1938, when they passed this act, were believed to be safe. But since that time, we've made advances in our research capabilities. Toxins have been exposed and proven to be detrimental to our health. Unfortunately, not much has changed. So we like to think that someone is looking out for us and guarding what goes into our products or what's used on our food. But the truth of the matter is that's just not the case. Now, the second most dangerous chemical on that list are cleaning supplies. So thinking toilets, floors, countertops, all the things, right? And we all use cleaning supplies, right? Hopefully everybody cleans your house at some point in time. We're all using cleaning supplies. Here's a list, and we're going to dig into that a little bit more, of some very common ingredients that are found in personal care products and cleaning products that have potential toxic effects. Propylene glycol, alcohol, sodium lauryl sulfate, mineral oil, sodium laureth sulfate, talc, BPA, phthalates, formaldehyde, DEA, all the stuff. So these are some of the top things that are in household items that are on that list. Drain cleaner, oven cleaner, dish soap, dishwasher soap, furniture polish, fabric softener, laundry soap, and hair care products. Did you know that in Europe, they ban over 1,400 toxic chemicals? I actually think it might be 15 now, but at least 1,400 toxic chemicals, and they will not allow them to be used in their personal care products. In Canada, they do that with 1,200. In the US, guess what? We get a big fat F for failure because they're only 11. I don't know. I'm just making up numbers tonight, I guess. They're only 11. So we also in the US have the highest cancer rate of any other country. Not really a question why, is there, when you look at some of these numbers? So some interesting things that I have found as I've done some research. The American Cancer Society says that only 5 to 10% of all cancer cases are from gene defects, so genetics. That means that 90 to 95% of cancer is caused by our environment. That means that's really good news to us. It's as frustrating as it is. It's good news because we can control that, right? We do not have to be that victim. So we can take charge and eliminate those harmful toxic chemicals from our home. The number 2 cause of death in the United States is cancer. Cancer expenditures in 2020 were $190 billion. That's with a B, 190 billion. It's estimated that 1,660 people die every day of cancer. We're talking about the US, and that there are more than 11,000 new cases of cancer each year among our children. It's just terrifying. Now, the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health Studies studied 2,983 different ingredients that are found in like regular products that we would use in our home. And they found 884 toxic ingredients in those 2,983 different ingredients that they found. 314 of them caused biological mutations. 218 caused reproductive issues. 778 were toxic to the human body. 146 they knew caused cancerous tumors, but they were allowed in the US, even though they are banned in other countries, and they're still allowed in the US. So these chemicals are allowed in almost every type of cleaning product in the United States. So just common things that we would find in our cabinets probably right now, unless we've done a deep clean of those kind of things. And even organic cleaners have some known carcinogens that are just naturally derived. So just because it says organic, that doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't have some of these other products or ingredients in it that are harmful to us. So what's our largest organ? The skin, right? I mean, we're covered in it. That's the largest organ. So we really have to start thinking about what are we putting on this largest organ of our body? So things like triclosan, banned in other countries, but it's still used in the US, and it's a known hormone disruptor. So it's found in textiles, cleaning supplies, cosmetics, antibacterial soaps, toothpaste. It's found on, they coat it on cutting boards and other school supplies. Parabens, another known hormone disruptor. It's found in sunscreens, different hair products, lotions, cosmetics, shampoo, conditioners, things like that. So those are things we don't want. Phthalates. So phthalates are interesting because they're pretty much everywhere. It's kind of crazy. Clothing, so raincoats, printed shirts, diaper covers, skirts, footwear, our rain boots, sandals, sneakers, accessories like backpacks, handbags, packaging. Then they're building products, floor tiles, wall coverings, wiring, things like that. In our homes, shower curtains, tablecloths, toys. You guys could do a really deep dive on this if you want to. Personal care products, shampoo, deodorant, lotion, nail polish, school supplies, things like lunch boxes, notebooks, binders, outdoor swimming pools, inflatables, garden hoses, things like that. In our automobiles, the car seats, upholstery, dashboards. It's just crazy. It's really, really crazy. And then there's fragrance. Fragrance is one that just makes me, I just hate it. And I really encourage, if you don't look for anything else, if you take nothing else away tonight, look for fragrance. That's an easy thing to read on your label. I know it can be, it can be overwhelming sometimes when we start doing this, but just if it says fragrance, just put it back on the shelf. Or throw it in the trash if it's already in your house, because it's literally everywhere. And fragrance can be made up of some 1,400 different ingredients. And because it is aromatic and it has a fragrance to it in a scented candle or dryer sheets or air fresheners, potpourri, fragrance sprays, perfume, scented hand and body care products, because it is considered proprietary, and vendors, manufacturers do not have to tell us what's in it. But I can promise you that out of the research that I've done, everything that I have researched has shown that anytime that there's fragrance, there are numerous very harmful ingredients involved. So again, I encourage you to go do your own research and see what you find, but that's what I found. So if you're using any product with that, please consider stopping that. Sodium lauryl sulfate, or SLS, so common, and sodium lauryl sulfate, and it's foaming agents. So literally it's like what makes things foam. So if you're using something that has a lot of foam to it, it's probably got SLS in it. And the really sad thing is it's known to be very harsh to to our skin, to our eyes and things like that. And I think about, you know, myself, how many times I shampooed my baby's hair in, you know, the name brand baby shampoos that are so toxic. They're just filled with toxins. And, you know, you think you're doing the right thing, but you don't know what you don't know. Propylene glycol is literally everywhere. It's in sunscreens, it's in all kinds of body products. It's actually even in cake mixes as a moisturizer. So if you don't believe me, next time you go to the store on the cake aisle, pick up a few boxes, you will find propylene glycol in those boxes. Some other things are like DEAs and NPEs. These are, you can go look these up, but literally they're in all kinds of household products, clothing, food wrap, chemicals, mouthwash, all different things that we use. So just be on the lookout for those kinds of things on your labels. Just because it says 100% natural, because look at that logo that says natural, 100%, it's got the green leaf. It looks like it would be, doesn't it? Doesn't your eye just go to that if you were choosing something, you know, or even the one that says green, clean, certified, blah, 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 all the stuff, like they do that on purpose, and it's called greenwashing. And they use labels, they use coloring that is more natural, more what we would associate with nature, like green, browns, things like that, right? To catch our eye and make us think that it's good and clean. Sometimes it will say organic on it, and organic isn't what we think organic is, because to me, if organic means that something can be sprayed with Roundup, which we know is a carcinogen, that's not okay. And organic doesn't mean very much to me when that can be a part of the organic process. So do some research, but just don't let your eyes deceive you when you look at these pretty products that look all natural and healthy and say all the right wording. Still turn it over and read the labels, because unfortunately, I think you're going to be surprised more times than not. Talc is a big one. Talc is just a really nasty thing. And again, I think about, you know, I use Johnson & Johnson's baby products on my kiddos because I thought they were the best. And I think about how much baby powder I put on them. Oh my gosh. Horrible. So there are studies, and there have been lawsuits and all kinds of things over this, where women who've used talcum powder in the genital area have a 60% increased risk of ovarian cancer. 60%. Those women using feminine deodorant sprays had a 90% increased chance of cancer. That's not okay, but it's still happening. Even after lawsuits have been filed and won by the plaintiffs, it's just not okay. Millions and millions of dollars have been awarded for that, but these products are still on the market and still being sold, and women are still using them, and we're still using, you know, baby powder on our babies and things. So please just tell other women about those products, because every woman needs to know that. In 1973, the FDA created a resolution on talc, which limited the level of asbestos-like fibers found in cosmetic talc. They limited the level of asbestos-like fibers. They didn't say you can't use it. So and that was really never even put into action, and it still is unregulated. So nothing has ever happened with that. Formaldehyde is another one that we just typically don't think of, but it is recognized as a carcinogen by the Cancer Institute, and there are definitely long-term effects that include cancer, even leukemia. So it's not an easy ingredient to find. So chances are, if you went into your closet, to your beauty cabinet, to the drawers, and you started looking for it, you won't find the word formaldehyde. So it's not that easy to find, but unfortunately it is in baby products, adult pet products, shampoos, things like that, body wash, hair conditioner. It's in baby wipes, sunblock, cosmetics, a lot of different things. Aluminum chloride, another one. And we think about typically two different things with it, even though it's in other things. We think about deodorant has aluminum in it, and baking powder. So if you're buying baking powder, make sure that you buy one that is aluminum free. So yes, there is a choice. You may have to look a little bit harder for it, but there's an aluminum free. The problem with it is aluminum accumulates in the brain tissue and it's considered to be a neurotoxin. So it's been connected with things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ADD, ADHD, autism, and just other neurological diseases. And really interesting thing is we put deodorant in the armpits, right? The armpits are near the breast, and it's been linked to breast cancer. And they've actually found aluminum in breast cancer tumors. So ladies, let's don't do that. The lymph nodes are there, we're near the breast. Let's just don't do that. But we could be finding aluminum chloride in things like our baking powder, self-rising flour, salt, baby formula, coffee creamers, baked goods, antacids. That's another big one that we don't think about. Look at the antacids, analgesics, deodorants we talked about, lotions, sunscreen, and juice pouches. Those are some biggies. So we really, really want to protect our little ones and ourselves. Like that's why they quit using aluminum cookware. They realized that probably some of our, our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, they used to have cookware was aluminum, and they quit using it because so many people were coming up with dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and things like that. And when they did an autopsy, they would find this aluminum in the brain. So we really want to avoid that. And, our children, we really want to do the right thing for them, don't we? So we do everything else we can to keep them safe. We go to great lengths to keep our children safe. So we have to become a good gatekeeper, friends. We have to become an ingredient reader so that we are protecting our children, because that's just as important as holding their hand when they're crossing the street. I mean, it's so important. The good news is we don't have to be overwhelmed. There is a better way. There are other things. And I'm going to give you a link when we get finished here. I don't want to forget that. I want to give you a link to get a resource when we're finished here, if you want it, that will help with this, make it easier. So we can have a chemical-free home. Like we can have safe products in our home. And one of the easy buttons to do that is to swap out all of the chemicals, all the cleaning products in our home for Thieves. So we can literally do that with Thieves products. So, and we're from toothpaste to mouthwash to laundry detergent to dish soap to hand cleaner, hand purifier, hand sanitizer, fruit and veggie soak, and then Thieves household cleaner, which literally in my house, we use it in the bathrooms, we use it in the kitchen, we use it in the bedrooms, we use it everywhere. It goes in our mop water. We have bottles made up in every single room that we spray, we spray down the bathroom, we spray everything. And the thing is, if we get that on our hands, or if we took a chug of it, we might get a gurgly tummy or something like that, but we're not calling poison control. So if our little ones get into it, we don't have to be worried about that. So that's really the easy button. And I don't know if I'm the only one on here that wants an easy button, but I want an easy button, because I was literally the girl that when I started doing this, I was standing in the store, in the cleaning products aisle, literally overwhelmed and in tears, because every product I picked up had ingredients that I knew I didn't want, literally every one of them. And I just didn't know what to do. I just had no idea what to do. And at that point in time, I did not know about Young Living. I did not have an easy button with all of the Thieves products. So we saw the thing at the top of the list on the EPA list of dangerous things in our homes were candles and air fresheners, things like that, right? And who doesn't want their home to smell good, right? We all do. We all want that. But paraffin emits what? Oh, there it is. Formaldehyde. Remember, we were talking about formaldehyde before and some other undesired chemicals. So most candles are made of paraffin, and then they've got what? Fragrance in them. So we know that fragrances are endocrine disruptors. We know they can be carcinogens. They may lead to infertility, cognitive issues, allergies, autoimmune challenges, all these different things, fragrance, because remember, there's could be 1,400 different ingredients there. So we just want to avoid that. And the easy button there is a diffuser and essential oils, right? And real essential oils that come from a living plant, that are not adulterated, that are not from a second, third, fourth distillation, true oils, right, from a plant. And they do some good things for us. They help us to feel better, just breathing them in. We can do a swap of other things in our home with personal care products like shampoos and conditioners, lotions, body wash, all these kind of things. And again, Young Living has a multitude of choices for that. So you're not standing in the aisle being overwhelmed, trying to figure out, what does this ingredient mean? What does that ingredient mean? And you're on your phone for an hour trying to look up all the ingredients to know whether or not it's something that you can use. Young Living does not put ingredients in their products that are going to cause us harm. So again, easy button. And for the little ones, there's a whole entire seedlings line, from baby oil to wipes to linen spray to diaper rash cream, all of it, everything in between, everything for our little ones, so that we know it's all plant-based and that there's nothing in there that shouldn't be touching a baby's skin. Oh, so important. And they're so delicate, right? Their skin is so delicate. I don't know about you, but skincare, makeup, things like that are important to me. I enjoy those things and I want good quality. So different lines of skincare products, again, another easy button. Makeup, we should not have to compromise our health for beauty. We just shouldn't have to do it. So there are a whole line of Savvy Minerals makeup products, everything start to finish. Nothing ever has to touch our face, ladies, that isn't good for us. Just doesn't have to happen. Supplements. Did you know that the majority of supplements that are sold, both online and in big box retailers, they're not what they actually say they are in the label? There are other things in there, things like arsenic, even that's been found in a lot of them, sawdust, crazy things. So you have to know where your products come from. And supplements are super important, especially these days when our soil is depleted and our food's just treated with so many different things, even when we try to buy organic and all the things, right? So it's hard for us to get the nutrients we need. We really must know where these things come from. So literally, one drop at a time, we can do better. We can live better. And this is a premium starter kit. So if you haven't gotten started with Young Living yet, this is kind of an easy button. This will give you 12 different oils, a bunch of samples of things, and get your foot in the door and get you started with some things. And then you can add whatever else you want. Honestly, my very favorite thing to grab is this, for someone that's just starting this journey, is the Thieves Starter Kit, because it's phenomenal. It's got more cleaning products than you're going to use in 6 or 8 months. Easy. Some people, it lasts them a year. It just depends on the size of your family, you know, and that kind of thing. But the Thieves Cleaner is so concentrated that literally a cap full in a bucket to wash your floor, to, you know, do your floors. A cap full in a 20-ounce spray bottle to clean your bathrooms and your countertops is plenty. So it's going to last you an extremely long time. And that is it's a really good way to do that. And the price of that kit now, I think, is less than this. I need to look, but I encourage you to, if you haven't done this, start room by room. Go to each room in your house and start and look in the cabinets and see, okay, what have I got? What needs to go? What can stay? And just start switching things out. So it's not a matter of us adding things to our budget. It's a matter of us doing what I'm going to call transfer buying. We're trading the stuff we used to buy for good, clean products. And while a bottle of Thieves Cleaner may be $22, that bottle is going to last me 6 months or longer. So it's very concentrated. So at first I may go, oh my gosh, sticker shock a little bit. But when I understand how I use it, it's much less expensive than anything I've been buying at a store. Much less expensive and just so much easier to use. So then you can just begin to trade out the things that you're using right now every single month. With Young Living offers a loyalty rewards program, and it's got some great kickbacks. That is a really economical way for even the tightest budget to be able to make these changes. And that doesn't mean we have to make them overnight, but we start one room at a time, right? One thing at a time.